I'm Mark Calley in Mr. Saltwater Tank, and this is Mr. Saltwater Tank TV. It's been since the beginning of July since I did an update on my 235-gallon tank, and everyone wants to know, well, how is my tank growing up, for lack of a better words? If you've been following me on Facebook, you've seen some of the things I've been doing in my tank, but since Bridger's getting restless, and so is my audience, let's do an update on my tank. Say bye-bye for now. All right, good job, buddy. Here's how my tank looks today. You're likely noticing that something is mostly missing. SPS coral. I haven't gone overboard on SPS for two reasons. I do want to do SPS coral in this tank, but I don't want it to be an SPS dominant tank. I want this tank to have a mix of corals, including some ones that I've never had before that I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. And second, I wasn't going to put SPS in this tank until I got my rose bubble tip in the tank and got it settled. My rose bevel tip was in my sexy tank. I finally got it off the rock. Now it's in here. Once it settles down, then I'm going to go after SPS pieces that catch my eye. I said I wanted to go a different direction instead of an SPS dominant tank. So here's what I mean. I want to get more LPS pieces to take up room on the sand bed and get some clams down there too. Now here's what I have in my tank. I'm on a Lobo kick right now, and I picked up a couple of eye candy pieces like these. I've also got an ORA purple hammer, as I always love that coral, and a very unique hammer that I'm calling a purple hornet hammer. I love this piece. I haven't seen one like it around. Definitely going to be a centerpiece of my tank. I also picked up an ORA Dorasa clam and some Ultra Tahitian Maxima clams as well. I've always loved clams, and viewing them from the top down always adds another level of enjoyment for owning clams. I've also got some aquacultured eco gorgs. Now, gorg is short for gorgonian. These guys look great, and I want to support aquaculture farmers. We can't harvest from the ocean forever, and I want to support aquaculturing as much as I can. Of course, I'm rebuilding my zoa garden, including some purple and red hornet zoas. When it came to fish in my 235-gallon tank, I wanted to change directions a little bit and get some fish on the fringe. Now, fish on the fringe are fish that are mainly reef safe, but if you looked them up online, they would be reef safe with caution. These fish are very likely not going to eat corals, but they might eat shrimp, snails, crabs, maybe even a clam or two. So, current fish on the fringe in my tank are my pair of blue throat triggerfish, and I love these guys. Now, those of you on Facebook, you named them Smith & Wesson because they're triggerfish, and these few fish have absolutely stole my heart. I love the way they swim. They have lots of personality. They sit in the corner of the tank and they stare at me all day while I'm working, and they will eat right out of my hand. I absolutely love them, and blue throat triggers are arguably the most reef-safe triggerfish. Now, they might have one that will snap every now and then, might eat a shrimp, maybe even eat a clam, but it's not likely. They're very likely going to eat the food out of the water column before they'll ever go after an invertebrate like clams, shrimp, snails, anything like that. It might happen. I'm willing to take the risk. They have a lot of personality, and I absolutely love them. I'm happy to report that my marine velvet survivors are all completely velvet free after treatment. That includes my blue-green chromis, my leopard wrasse, and my pink spot goby. Now, I've added a replacement purple tang, as I always love this fish. I've also got a set of 4 resplendent anthias. One always hides, that's why you're not seeing it in this shot, but they are beautiful fish. I've also added a blonde naso tang. I love tangs. I've been very happy with this fish. I like the blonde aspect of the blonde naso. I've also added a clown tang. Now, this is a little bit of a fish on the fringe, not so much that they can eat something, but they can be aggressive. Now, he's Mr. Neurotic. He's always swimming around my tank at a rapid pace. He'll give you ADD just by watching him. I also wanted to support captive breeding as much as possible, so here's a list of captive bred fish that are in my tank. I'm happy to say that right now, nearly half the fish in my tank are captive bred. There's a look of the livestock part of my tank. Let's go downstairs and have a look at some hardware. Remember that when I restarted my tank, I picked up a brand new custom-made sump from My Reef Creations. People have been asking me, well, Mark, how do you like it? And I'm still going to do a full review on this sump. For now, I can tell you that I love this sump. This is easily the best sump that I've ever owned. A couple people who watched my show, they went out and picked up their own My Reef Creations sump. They've written me to say the exact same thing. Hands down, the best sump that they've ever owned. So what do I like so much about it? Well, It's quiet, number one, it's well built, and even the controversial bio chamber here, people have been asking, well, how is that working out for you? It's working great. My nitrates in this tank are at 0.2 parts per million. That's very low. Remember, I'm not carbon dosing this tank. I've been able to keep them that low, even with the bio chamber, so it's certainly doing its job. Other gear in the sump, my high door skimmer is working fantastic. No complaints out of the skimmer. Skims well and quiet, and my Tunzi osmolator is rock solid as well. It's really nice when I go out of town to know that I've got 2 fail-safes in the osmolator built in. It lets me rest easier. Now, if you're paying attention, you notice I have this dosing jug right here. What's in the dosing jug? Magnesium. It's time for me to start dosing magnesium in my tank. I'm doing that via my GHL standalone doser. I've been very happy with the standalone doser. I'm happy to put it to work now on this tank. For now, I'm just dosing magnesium because that's all I need. If that changes, I'll let you know in a future tank update show. The last question left to answer is, am I leaving the tank rimless? And the answer is, for now, yes. I enjoy getting to look over the top of the tank and get some great top-down shots. Now, as you can see, I've added this mesh netting, and I'll admit this isn't the sexiest thing in the world, but I'd rather have the mesh netting here, have the tank look maybe not as good, and keep all the fish in the tank as opposed to just focusing on tank looks alone. There you have it. There's an update on my 235-gallon tank. If things change, I'll do future updates for you on Mr. Saltwater Tank TV. Till next time, I'm Mark Callahan, Mr. Saltwater Tank. Have a good one, enjoy your tanks, and know your tank personality.